Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining the third part of the STR Partner Life Destination Updates Volume 2. My name is Petra and I'm Director Sales from STR Destination Handling. And today I'm very happy that our partners from Beauty of Japan, Japan Canadian Tours International, Canada, and Quimbaya for Latin America will give you the latest updates on their beautiful destinations. But before we start, I just would like to give you some information about STR Destination Handling. We got founded in the year 1980, and I think we are one of the most established sales and marketing offices in the German-speaking region. And with the opening of the STR CE office in the year 2008, we also cover the Eastern European source markets. We can offer you more than 30 selected incoming agencies with a portfolio of over 70 destinations worldwide. So, and for some of these beautiful destinations we can offer you, you will get the updates today. And we start with Mr. Takahiro, CEO from Beauty of Japan, and he will give you the update about Japan and, of course, of the beautiful Setouchi area as well. Hello, Taka. Thank you for joining us, and I will head over to you, and please start with the updates from Japan.
Well, hello, everyone. Good morning to you all. Good afternoon from my side. My name is Taka from Tokyo, Japan. I'm the founder and CEO of the Beauty of Japan, and now I'm going to update you about the what is happening in Japan right now. So just to quickly introduce ourselves, our office is located in the heart of Tokyo, and we are a member of a few associations. And what we do is the tailor-made planning for luxury FITs, groups, incentives, including off the beaten track itineraries and contents into the itinerary. We look after all the land arrangements, including accommodations. We have hotels, ryokan. Ryokan is a Japanese style inn with hot springs, and you sleep on a tatami mat with futon. And shukubo is a temple stay. So you can actually sleep in the temple. You wake up early in the morning next day to join the ceremony with the priest. We arrange every kind of transfers, and of course guide, ticket, restaurants, and all the unique culture experiences. So unique culture experiences includes not just like a tea ceremony or sushi making, but meet with gardeners who is taking care of the Japanese gardens of World Heritage, or meet with carpenters or architects. We have a good network of those local artisans to meet with each client's demand and needs. So to give you Japan update, next slide shows you the daily new cases in Japan. We had quite a big wave actually a few months ago around in August. That was actually when we were hosting Olympics. But right now it goes down to it says 170 cases per day now. Yesterday we only had like 120. Sometimes it goes down even down to double digits. So it really the situation is so much better right now. Now the reason behind this is the vaccination ratio. Approximately 78% of the population, which means 18 years old or above, are fully vaccinated. So that is a big reason behind as to why Japan is doing really well in terms of vaccinations. Well, of course, we wear the masks all the time outside, so that can be another reason. Now, the border situation, the government has been taking action really slow, to be honest. It's maybe just because we are a small island country, but we have only relaxed the entry restrictions for business travelers and students. And they still have to be fully vaccinated and has to be PCR negative test within 72 hours of arrival in Japan. Also, still, they require 3 days self-quarantine after the entry to Japan. But more and more people are coming to Japan right now. We are accepting up to 5,000 people per day. Now, I guess the next question is, how about for leisure tourists? Japanese government will be inviting selected people, a group of people in the travel industry, actually to Japan from some European countries and USA. And this is to implement some experimentation purpose in December. I don't know what exactly the experiment test, but Japanese government has announced that they will be having some groups to do some tests to make sure the COVID control will be take place. And probably in January, government will discuss and decide what it's going to do with the reopening borders for leisure tourists. Hopefully, they will open by March or April at the latest. Then next slide is the what is the life in Japan. So as I said, mask is required everywhere except for the table in the restaurant or bar. So if you go outside, basically everyone is wearing a mask. If not, I mean, everybody will be staring at you. Well, we will not be fined or anything. You know, it's just it's like a rule for everyone that we have to wear a mask outside. But no restriction to enter restaurants, bars, museums, etc. In some countries, I'm hearing that vaccine pass or similar kind of a certificate is required to enter those facilities. But in Japan, there's nothing. And the state of emergency wasn't taking place until like September or until early October. But since it was lifted, all the domestic flights back to normal schedule, and with high load capacity, I've been traveling quite a bit domestically. But before, when the state of emergency was in place, around 30% of passengers were only on the flight. But right now, 80 to 90%, mostly business travelers traveling everywhere right now. And of course, a lot of people are now starting to travel domestically from north to the south. So on the weekends or on this coming holidays, there are a lot of bookings happening for domestic travel. For sporting events, music lives, audience is allowed up to 50% capacity. Of course, they have to wear a mask, but there's no other restrictions. So that is good news. And in order to support travel industry, the government will be supporting up to 10,000 Japanese yen per person per night for people to motivate to travel domestically, which is planning to start from the end of January. So I think from February and onwards, I think more people will be traveling domestically. So that is all from Japan side. If you have any questions, I'll be standing by. So please let me know.
Thank you very much, Taka, for this update, which is actually a good sign. And we have hopes that from next year, maybe March, as you say, we can travel to Japan again. And for all of you, if you have questions, as Mr. Taka already said, please put it in the chat box and we will answer your question at the end of the whole presentation. And we will continue now with Mr. Terry, Managing Director from Canadian Tours International in Canada. Terry, thank you so much for getting up so early or getting up in the middle of the night to give us here in Europe the latest updates about Canada. So please go ahead.
Thank you, Petra. Good morning to everybody. I'm happy to be here and give you an update on Canada and just a little bit about us as well, of course. For those who don't know us as a company, Canadian Tours International, we have our head office in Toronto, another office in Vancouver, as well as an office in Montreal. So we cover the whole country, everything from FITs, shore excursions, of course, group travel, incentives, business congresses, anything that comes to the country, sporting events as well. plus actually one addition, not just Canada, but also Alaska, because Alaska is quite similar to Canada, and any type of routing that often includes Western Canada or any of the cruise ships that come into port in Vancouver. Starting from there, they often end in Seward or Anchorage. So we do post programs there as well. Now, to give you an update on what's going on here regarding the COVID situation, in general, Canada here, we have it under control. Of course, we are a big country, the second biggest country in the world. So different regions do have different performance in terms of how COVID is coming along. Generally, the average population at 12 years and older is currently 85% vaccinated, fully vaccinated, double dosed. But we do have regional differences, certainly British Columbia, Ontario, Quebec, places like that that are quite popular for tourism, and also the East Coast, Nova Scotia, areas like that on the Atlantic. The actual vaccination rates are very high versus some places like in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and the central part of Canada. The vaccination rates are a bit lower, but that's coming along. The good news is just last week, the government of Canada also gave the thumbs up, basically the go ahead to allow children 5 years to 11 years to also receive doses as well from the Pfizer vaccine. So that's actually starting right now this week. So we're going to get our actual full population numbers quite a bit higher. In regards to, of course, new cases, currently we have a little bit different situation than what's going on in Europe. Our case count is per day staying fairly steady. Different regions, of course, it depends, but it's maybe moving on a daily average currently right now, because these numbers were last week. We're looking at about 3,000 cases per day across Canada. That's the 7-day weekly average. Now, in terms of restrictions coming into Canada, of course, that's one of the most important questions. Good thing is we have flights coming in from all over the world. That's permitted since now the only last exception was India, which was allowed come October, but otherwise permitted from all over the world. The key thing, though, is if any of your guests are coming to Canada, and every single guest that travels into Canada must be fully vaccinated. There's absolutely no exceptions. The good thing is regarding the vaccines, should you happen to have any guests who, let's say, did not get their vaccinations in Europe, as of Friday this past week, that's a slight update from what's written there. We actually do allow vaccines for people that basically as the WHO has designated. So things like Sinovac as well are on that list, not just those 4 that are mentioned there. But basically, arriving into Canada, before you come here, there are a couple of things that people obviously have to be careful of. They do have to download what's called the ArriveCan app on their phones, available on the App Store for Apple or Google Play. Or if not, they have to do it online. Basically, what that is, it's a portal from the Canadian government where you update your vaccine information. So you do have to upload your information that you're double vaxxed, that you have both vaccinations on there. Some basic traveler information, basic departure times, your flight numbers, your contact information, of course. So this all has to be done before you even get onto the plane, because normally the Canadian government is forcing the airlines to check every passenger in regards to that. You do get a confirmation after that, 6-digit verification code, QR code, which you show upon a departure from the country you're coming from. And of course, before you do all this, you still have to have a PCR test done within 72 hours before you take off coming to Canada. That is extremely important because you will not be allowed in the country unless you've had the PCR test done as well, even if you're double vaxxed. Rapid antigen tests are not accepted, so it has to be any of the PCR tests allowed. Now, in terms of how the situation is here in general, life, tourism, we already did see some groups once we did open our international borders on September 7th. So that's a good signal. There are no capacity restrictions currently here regarding the hotels, buses, restaurants, bars. But of course, just like coming into the country, everybody has to be vaccinated. So us as normal Canadians, in order to go to a restaurant, we do have to show proof that we're double vaccinated. There are no exceptions in regard to that as well. So same thing for sporting events. The capacities are 100%, but again, we have to be double vaxxed. That's essentially what the government wants us to be, which is good, so that only any place where you go to restaurants or attractions or going into any types of events, seeing concerts, you know that everybody around you is definitely double vaccinated. So when it comes to any foreigners coming here, of course, proof of paper vaccination, we organize, of course, that if it's a preset program with the restaurants, with the attractions, they know that the clients that are coming are not from Canada. So this is where it's much easier to facilitate from our end, because our suppliers do know that our clients are all vaccinated because they did come from outside the country. Regarding general situation, of course, for us as staff, it is a free country here, but many corporations and companies have essentially put the onus that unless people want to have a job, they have to be double vaccinated. So that applies to things, of course, like bus drivers. Most bus companies here are forcing their bus drivers to be double vaccinated. For our own guides, most of our guides, of course, life is awful if they didn't have double vaccinations. So they are double vaccinated as well. So as soon as your guests are ready to travel again here with group travel or individual travel where they need a guide, they're also all double vaccinated. And that is sort of roughly the situation right now as it pertains to Canada. And I guess if there's questions, we'll do that afterwards.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much, Terry. It sounds all great, actually. So since traveling in Europe for skiing holidays is not looking so good this time, we maybe should come to Canada, huh? For skiing.
Skiing is definitely open. I did that this past winter, and I'm already planned my Christmas holiday and another January ski trip in West Canada. So please come.
Thank you so much, Terry, for this great update. And now we will come to Latin America. And Miss Laura is with us. Hi, Laura, Global Sales Director from Quimbaya, our partner in Latin America. And very happy to have you with us. And looking forward to your updates about the few countries you have in your portfolio. So we start, and I give the word to you. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you so much, Petra and STR. Yes, I have. I'm happy I'm the last one because I don't have one country like Japan or Canada. I have actually 11. Lucky enough, yes, we have 11 destinations and in Quimbaya, Latin America. We cover this since 34 years. And we remain present in all these destinations, very happy, even though it hasn't been easy. So our presence, just to remind you, so we cover, from why we say Latin America, it's basically Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Panama, which is our head office. Colombia is where we were born 34 years ago. And we have 2 offices there still, Cartagena and Bogota. And Galapagos, we have a coordinator. In Quito is our office. In Peru is our strongest presence and operations. As you can know and imagine, that Peru is the most popular destination all around the world. Everybody wants to go there. But we also have an office in La Paz, in Bolivia, in Santiago de Chile, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in Rio, in Brazil. So just to, I didn't introduce myself either, also give you an update of not just our presence, but the company. So I've been with Quimbaya for 10 years now. And I'm looking after now all the markets, but I've just recently moved to Europe. So I'm now going to be your first sales contact in Europe. So that, because before I used to live in Australia, but during the pandemic, this is what happens. You have to get closer to where the markets are active and working. So I'm happy to be here. Also to let you know, yes, Tiziana is no longer with us, who was your contact before. And but I will be happily with STR, obviously, support your contact. And in terms of our offices, we all have kept them, all 11 offices. And happily to say that all our offices are open and operating. Since now August, we finally received the first passengers in, well, we've received now Mexico, Costa Rica is the most popular with Mexico, and now Ecuador and Peru are becoming very popular. So those 4 offices, that's where we are now rebuilding the teams, because as you can imagine, we couldn't keep everybody. But we still have kept the main people in each country, and the 4 countries that I mentioned, Mexico, Costa Rica, Ecuador, and Peru, is where we're seeing a lot more activity, where we're calling back a few others that were with us before, or new ones as well. So that's quite exciting. It's quite also very a big surprise to us, because we were thinking that this was going to take longer, but the reactivity has started for us in August, and we are very busy, happily busy. We are adapting of how we're working. Obviously, things. Sorry, Petra, can you before slide? And so we are basically adapting our offices so that we are ready to receive all the bookings, all the new requests, because there's a lot of last minute requests for Christmas. Everybody wants to go to Mexico. Everybody wants to go to Costa Rica for January or February. So just wanted to say that bear with us. We are adapting all our teams to cater everybody. Yes, now we can go to the next one. Thank you. So in terms of COVID updates, we've been really making sure regularly that this page on our website, on the homepage, you can find it. We have it in English and in other languages as well. Sorry, not in German, but in French for the ones that speak French or Italian. And then you have everything updated per country in terms of restrictions, measures, how to enter each country, but because they've been changing on a daily basis. So that's updated. We also have the vaccinations being updated on a daily basis or more weekly basis, we would say. We have as well also updated our certifications. Most of our countries now, we have the Safe Travels label, which we can say. And we're happy to say that the last 3 open countries finally that joined the rest of our open countries are Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia. So I can say all Latin America is open now for visiting. Next slide, please. Yes, so this is just to show you the next updates on COVID. So there's vaccination. We've done as well some articles, interviews, and updates on the borders. So in terms of like specifically each country, where can we really, because we can go in depth on every country, there's a lot of information, but I've made a general key points. And then if you want more information, of course, it's on our website, and also you can come to me or ask at the end of this session, happily to answer. So first one is Mexico. Like I said, is the most popular destination. is basically everybody wants to go to Mexico. It's also due to the fact that they have been open since the beginning. They only require PCR test. And of course, if you're vaccinated, that's even better. So they've been really promoting, advertising that they're open, and everybody got the message, and everybody wants to go to the sun. So it's completely normal and logic that is like this. In terms of updates, so the peak season, really, it's happening right now. December, March, April is the spring break, Easter. Also, all hotels, everything is open. Restaurants are the ones that suffered the most, but we have to keep updating each one of them to make sure that they are there. Also, another important thing is that some restrictions in terms of volume, capacity. Some parks like the pyramids, Teotihuacan, you cannot go up. You can visit only from the bottom, but that's fine. You still can take your pictures. There's also a restriction in terms of 10 people maximum in a group without a tour guide. If you are more than 10 people, then you will need a tour guide. There's also a new tax that's been implemented that is only for the region of Cancun, but it's very small, so it's just $10, so it's not much. In terms of Guatemala, is open, all hotels are open. This country has been a bit affected because it's less developed, but is operating. They're already receiving. We're not receiving many inquiries, but it's open. Costa Rica is completely booming since the beginning, and we have as well a lot of FITs going there because it's a very easy destination. A lot of self-drive programs that have been requested. So we're happy to take all these. We also have guaranteed departures that we also reinitiated in this month. Actually, the first guaranteed departure that we started was in Costa Rica. So yes, we're fully operating there and happy to receive you. In Panama is also open, hotels operating. It's a bit more slow in terms of getting active with bookings. People are not choosing Panama as the first destination, but it will come. We already have a few requests, combinations with Costa Rica or with Colombia. Colombia is all open. We received already a few passengers and a first group from Eastern Europe, so very happy. Thank you for that. New bookings as well. We're seeing that everything is operating normal. All the parks are open. Flights, everything is happening normal. In Ecuador is super busy. Everybody had the choice as well, like Mexico, to go to Ecuador. So we're happy to see that. Galapagos was one of the first. Everybody wanted to jump in, so that was really surprising, but also really cool because with the help of the tourism board, they really focus on the 100% vaccinated people island, and everybody wanted to go to a safest place. So it makes sense why everybody chose this destination. So the only requirement is the PCR testing, and is very busy. So we really recommend you to book in advance because the island hopping is getting difficult. But we're getting there. So happy to receive your request with some time in advance. Peru is coming back as getting a popular destination again, but it's a bit slow in terms of reactivating. Not everything is working completely normal. So, I mean, overall, all Latin America is not operating 100% normal. That's the whole world, right? It's just the whole new situation we're living in. Yeah, some destinations are a bit more difficult. The flights are not operating completely, like in Peru for Nazca. The Inca Trail is not open, but it's also the rain season. So the most important season really in Peru is April to November. But we're still already seeing people that are enjoying the Machu Picchu because they're having an exclusive visit. There's not many people yet. So it's the right time to take your pictures and enjoy on an exclusive trip with not many people, Machu Picchu. There's some restrictions in terms of entries per day, but we're still not, so we always advise to book in advance, to give you some time in advance for the Machu Picchu. For Bolivia, it's open as well recently, just this month. So that was very good news because it's been closed for the whole time. A lot of the population suffer quite a lot. There hasn't been any help from the government. All Latin American countries have been like this, but Bolivia has been a bit more difficult. Vaccination rates have been a bit slower. It's actually the lowest really compared to all Latin America. It's 40% compared to Chile, who has more 80%. But they're already confirming flights to go to the uni 3 times a week. The Oruro Carnival, which is the biggest carnival in Bolivia, is confirmed for February next year. So that's really good news. So we're getting a few requests already for that. And also kind of influencers who really want to get the first pictures once the destinations is now open. Chile has been the most good student, we would say, in terms of vaccinations, because they really have a highest rate. They have about 83%. Compared to Bolivia, for example, the lowest, and Guatemala, the 33%. So Chile has been really good on their campaigning, they're even talking about booster already, whereas all the other countries haven't even spoken about that. They're not requiring it, but they're asking for a PCR test on the day of arrival. So that's kind of like the new thing. But it's open the borders as well between the countries, because we know that this destination, we enjoy a lot to do Patagonia with Argentina together. So the crossing will be open in January. So that's very good news. Also the cross-boarding with Mendoza and Santiago will also be open in January. So that's really good. And Easter Island is opening in February. So that's also exciting news. In terms of Argentina, it's also open this month, also a bit slower in terms of getting organized, as domestic flights haven't started completely. They are targeting the local population first, but by regions to restart the tourism. But hopefully the next season, because this season, I don't know if it's going to happen much. As we all need at least 6 months in advance to book this destination. So let's see how it goes, but it's open and everybody's getting ready, so that's quite exciting. In terms of Brazil, completely different scenario. Brazil has 76% vaccination rate, which is quite good for a country that's been open all the time. They never close borders. So that's pretty surprising. But there are some restrictions. So there are no restrictions. That's the easy thing. We've already had a MICE incentive group receiving in Brazil in September, and it went extremely well. Thank you for Eastern Europe who sent it, and very happy everybody. So the hotels and restaurants have been a lot closed, have been a bit affected. So it's not operating completely though, because even though the country was open, not many people went. But everything is open now as people are getting more familiar with traveling. The carnival is confirmed as well, so that's good news for February next year. An important thing is that although there's no restrictions for the country to enter, main sites like Iguazu Park or the Sugarloaf, the Corcovado, those require either vaccination or PCR tests. So everybody's doing, each region is doing its own thing as well, as it's such a big country. So we recommend, obviously, that you have your either vaccination or your PCR for this destination. And next slide. I think that's pretty much it. We've covered the 11 countries. And just thank you very much, everybody. And I'll be, yes, your first point of contact. Let me know if you need anything, and I'll be happy to redirect you to each person in each country, as we have reorganized a little bit, but we'll be happy to respond.
Thank you very much, Laura, for this trip through 11 great destinations.
Yeah, I did it in 15 minutes. So it's
in a very fast way. But don't worry if you couldn't get everything. We recorded the whole webinar for you. So in case you want to recap it once more, you will receive an email with this recording so you can listen again. And yeah, this is the end, and I have some questions, and I would like to start. The first one is about Canada. Terry, do you already started in Canada with the booster vaccine?
Yes, that's a good question, actually. I have a perfect example. A week and a half ago, my own parents, who are in their 80s, already got the booster vaccine. So similar to the initial rollout of the vaccines, they are going by age category. So those that are older and basically then into the 70s, 60s, anybody who has already immune deficiencies are getting those booster shots. So yes, definitely.
Okay, thank you very much. That was all about Canada at the moment. Then there was something coming in about Japan. Taka, the question is, once arrived in Japan, if it is possible, do you know, do they need a PCR test upon arrival as well, or only if they enter the aircraft to Japan?
Do people need to take the PCR before they enter to Japan? Is that the question?
The question is if they also need to go for a PCR test once they arrived in Japan.
Once they arrive in Japan, I don't
Yes.
think tourists will have to take PCR, but I think they just need to take it before they come to Japan.
A little bit too early now to ask this question, since it's not open really now.
Right, no official information, so it's just my guesstimation though.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Taka. For Mexico, we got another one. Do you can enter even without vaccine to Canada, and then you don't need to go under quarantine?
to Canada or to Mexico?
No, Mexico. Sorry, did I say Canada? I'm sorry.
Yes.
No, it was Mexico, not Canada.
Okay. Yeah, if you're not vaccinated, you can have a PCR test. Yes.
Okay, but you don't need to go in quarantine.
No.
Quarantine.
No.
Okay, so you can travel free in all over Mexico.
Yeah, you just will have to keep doing PCR tests along the way, but it's fine all around Mexico. There are a lot of stations. They're the first country actually that started doing this in all Latin America, having points like in Europe of PCR testing everywhere.
But it's not compulsory, right?
No. I mean, to enter certain parks,
but yes. During your stay, no.
No.
Okay. And one last question for the moment for Costa Rica. Is it correct that you don't need a PCR test to enter Costa Rica?
It depends if you're vaccinated or not.
If you are vaccinated.
If you're vaccinated, no.
You just need to show your vaccination certificate and you can enter and travel free.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let me check.
As long as you're vaccinated, then
it. Okay. These are all the questions. No more questions till now. Thank you very much to all of you for joining. Thank you, Laura, for being with us. Thank you, Jerry, for getting up so early in the morning. And thank you, Taka, for being with us late afternoon. And I wish all of you all the best. Let's keep fingers crossed that next time when we do the webinar, we can talk about sales and not about COVID updates. And stay healthy. And yeah, all the best. Hope to see you soon in real. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.